Tune in to www.oghuskyradio.com. Broadcast live from the east side of Los Angeles, worldwide. Archiving the infinite elements of hip-hop. There's more than just four. These cats represent the true essence of what the hip-hop culture is. These cats in here have a lot of history. That's why we bring them through to archive it. Go ahead and introduce yourselves individually first.
Ace Born.
Mighty Might.
Soul.
Goshe 1.
Huge One.
What up, man? And what's the crew, man? Break it down. Let us know what's up. Who we got in the spot?
This is the BAMC crew right here. And then these dudes right here, they from...
Keep the mic up. Keep the mic up.
Where's the other one from?
Well, right now I'm BAMC tonight, so I want to just deal with that right now.
There you go.
Well, we got more crews involved.
Yeah,
we're
we're
a BAMC thing right here.
I'm UTI and RTN, but
right now for BAMC.
BAMC.
Give us everything it stands for right now, as many as you can off the top, man.
Burning all my competition crew.
Brief action, many consequences.
Bomb on major cities.
Barack ain't making changes.
born a mental case.
Bitch ate my cum.
Beating all my competition.
Big ass motor, cuz.
But to clear a lot of stuff, a lot of people ask if it's BAM crew, and it's actually not BAM crew. It's BAMC, standing for burning all my competition. It's not. A lot of people over the years call it BAM crew, and yeah, to make it clear, it's BAMC.
Well, let's break it down. As you guys know it, when did it start? Founding members, year. Let's get on to the history of it then.
The founding member was Copy. It started in '99. It started out of Pacoima, San Fernando Valley 818. It's been going strong ever since. I know it started with just a couple of members, and from there, he started branching off and recruiting other members. I came along in 2005, and by that time, they were pretty much full steam. And over the years, they've just been going. I am from the 818. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, San Fernando, Pacoima areas. I paint everywhere now, though, but I know a lot of people in the crew are definitely, it's spread out a lot.
With going back to '99, we were talking off there too. Hip hop, Graff has its own entity now, like it's taken its own direction. But you're talking about the history of like how it was rooted, like you're talking about pop locking days and breakdancing and stuff. Just get into the early part of that. You know what I mean? How did that come into influence with the crew, or like from, you know what I mean, hip hop as a standpoint for you guys?
As a standpoint for me, being, I believe, the oldest active member right now, I got into the whole b-boying thing and popping in the 80s. My early influences for graffiti was definitely in the mid 80s, about 84, 85.
Who are we talking about influences?
Oh man, the first time seeing Style Wars and Dondi pieces and Subway art and all that stuff, and then later on in the late 80s seeing all the LA stuff come into play. And going to the yards like the Levitts and seeing people paint, and even a lot of people in the early days for the San Fernando Valley, there was yards in the San Fernando Valley, like, you know, the Sherman Way yard and just a lot of stuff out there, man, like with the original like UTIs and yeah, Skill and all them painting, man.
With that, I want everyone else that's here, I want you guys to say like your influences as like artists that you've seen that, you know what I mean? Because he's going back to the 80s. Maybe ain't that old.
Goshe is one of the older dudes. That's
yeah.
why.
So, but that, I
Gotta give him his
that's what I'm saying.
We're
But
like
so
a whole decade.
But I want you guys.
I guess senior citizens discounts.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I want you guys. Like, who are the artists you guys?
To me, back in the day, I used to like ASO, CBS, Doom,
Okay.
TKO, SAS, all that LA loose style, like those raw pieces up in like the middle of like raw brick, you know, like that's the best stuff right there. Like just monsters in the city.
My mentors was Boo from TCF and AWR, and FK Freight King, and then the dude who brought me up next was Tax from AM7.
Oh shit.
But seeing around the valley as a kid, it was Fable and Use and Real and Chill and Snap and Hawk before he was Ozzy, and that's like the era I grew up in. And there was Tulsa and Pale around the valley, and it was just everywhere you looked. And the WBs, you were looking for new tags all the time, and new crews were popping up, and party crews and macking crews. Just macking girls by the end of the month, see who did the most. And then everybody started writing, and I had to.
There it is. How about for you, Ace?
And I got influenced by everything, just everything I saw, just because the way I came up, like I didn't really have family like that to like depend on. So I saw it all in the street. I saw all these walls, and I saw shit that was being done. Like in the East Coast, like Case 2, like he's not even alive no more, and he's like one of the masters of just like coming up with wild styles. And then on the West Coast, just thinking about like going back and looking at what Chaz did all the way to what Saber does, and then looking at cats that bomb on the street, is just like, yo, it's a lot of us, and just soaking all that shit in just kind of made me who I am.
So the origins of Barack Ain't Make Changes is in Pacoima. You're from the Pacoima area? Like, how did
I'm
you
not
come?
from Pacoima. I'm from Inglewood.
Yeah.
I grew up in South Central Inglewood. Like we didn't like this whole connection we have.
Yeah, explain it.
This is just coming from just painting and getting together and then running into different people. And like me being a part of this crew, like this is from painting, and then Copy seeing me painting, and then me having prior knowledge of some of these cats, and then being like, whoa, like this kind of clicks. Like, okay, well, what's up with the rest of the squad? And then seeing this just standpoint and mental state where everybody's at.
There's a definite BAMC style.
Yeah, and then me seeing how everybody gets down, and then knowing like how like just that all of us have kind of went through this like underdog type of thing, so it's like
you can relate to each other pretty much.
Yeah, we can
It's
relate,
like,
we understand each other mentally. Like there's times we don't see each other for like long moments of time, but we still like understand each other mentally and what's going on.
Because anyone South Central Inglewood area definitely knows your work, dog. Like I've been fucking with you for a while, dog. Like I've been knowing about your shit, dog. Like random stopping, like this shit's too sick, and then turn around, it's fucking
blessing
Ace.
to the city.
You know what I mean? Like of course, like who else would it be in South Central? You know what I mean? In the cut, blessing it. That's why I was just asking, like, you know what I mean, how the connect came about. But usually how it works within the crews, you guys agree with that? Is that like it's more so like you said, the same mental state, but like it's your peer, like you could chill more than anything, and it's not necessarily everybody wants to be like, oh, I want to get down with them, and it's like it ain't even for the most part. Does that exist?
Definitely, definitely very. It's diverse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a crew that's got everything in it. It's got from the illegal side to the legal side to the making money for mural side. It's got everything, and we've got members that just are dedicating themselves to tattooing. I mean, we spread out. We got members in Las Vegas that have a couple tattoo shops out there.
Benjamin Lucas.
Yeah.
Word up.
Yeah.
Oh well, tattoo.
Yeah,
King Rock.
so more of it's
King
all
Rock.
around, not just a piece or a bombing or.
It's everything. It's everything, and what brings us together is just that style and that funk, and me being go back to me being a little older. I have that style, but the young dudes just kind of keep me going with their younger style and that viciousness and that crazy shit.
He's saying like he can't keep him up. For you a beast, dog. Don't you? He like, oh, they keep dog. You be hitting some shit, dog.
Yeah,
Don't trip.
Thank you, but it definitely keeps me on my toes. Being from a younger crew,
Yeah.
definitely has over the years has kept me on my toes, man. And a lot of us kind of work together, man. Like that.
Once
way.
again, BAMC, burning all my competition. Up in the spot, OGHuskyRadio.com. With the murals, man, I was asking you off the air, man. The murals from when we grew up, especially here in the east side of Los Angeles, the murals told stories, you know what I mean? It seems, and from the impression I get, is like murals now, like let's even say legals. Like, oh, you get a liquor store, there's no more stories being told. Like, you get a legal and it's like, I'm just going to get names, random names, and not even like working together on a color scheme and you know what I mean? It's like nothing coincides. Where did that change, or is that just the way the game is now? Like, especially you guys, you know what I mean? Like, are different from that. You know what I mean? You guys bring that, but what is that about that whole mural thing that it's not necessarily a mural anymore?
I think we're able to branch between the two. You know, there's dudes. We do a lot of names. I can't front on that, but
Yeah.
you know, having work blessed like Ace behind us and Copy, of course. You know, it's pretty hard to mess up a wall when you got those type of artists behind you,
Definitely.
and they're not necessarily letter guys a lot of the time. And we're really fortunate that as letter guys, you know, Solve and I, you know, we can, and Ghost, we can bust length and bugger, we can go big, and these guys are gonna bless us behind us, you know, and so we're really fortunate to make that tie. And
But so, I mean, like I said, you guys are able to stand out because of that. You know.
well,
what I mean?
in a sense, like you said, to try to tell a story. You know, his faces and the storyboards he puts together with, you know, the mother reading the book, you know, to the child. You know, if you can't look at that and find some emotion in it, then, you know, you probably ain't looking at it right.
Definitely.
Definitely, Ace brings a lot of beauty and calmness, but the lettering from these guys brings that beast out of it, like,
Yeah.
down, and it brings it, and
And-
it ties it all in together, man. That's what makes this crew BAMC. It's
To give credit, before my time in 07 is when I got in, around that time, 06, 07, there was already a whole crowd, Deploy and Salem and Versus was around back
Definitely,
then, and
yeah.
Copy.
Yeah.
They were doing killer backgrounds. I mean, putting
Beautiful shit.
fools on game and telling a whole entire story with their murals.
Yeah,
And they were all
shouts out
illegal.
to- shouts
Like,
out
we
to
didn't have a
Deep
lot
Love.
of like legal walls. I know some of the 99 to 2002 era BMC, they had I remember rolling the Pacoima alleys off Paxton and Van Nuys, and you know, they had Copy, and those dudes had those locked up back then. You know, fucks and those fools. But
Okay, being a letter guy, man, does the sketch of the outline of the letter mean more, or the color scheme of when you're doing it?
It's the flow, man. It's all about letter bending, man. Like, I
So,
think the style that we
Is
bring.
it? But I'm saying, is it more the way it bends, or the
you know
color
what?
the way it
You
makes
know
it
what?
bend?
I think you can make it bend and make it look saucy. You got the whole package, man. Like, you know, we try to make monsters, try to do just raw letters, man. I think that's what the crew represents. We got everything covered, all the art artistics, you know, like from tattooing to letters to, you know, but I think every time we paint, we do the job right to where we represent everybody else good, you know? Like my boy right now doing it right here, killing the billboard game, you know, just on it, dude. Like,
Yeah, man, get the mic. What's up, man? Go ahead and introduce yourself again. You ain't saying too much today, dog. They say you gotta watch out for the quiet ones. Those are the worst motherfuckers out there.
Worse. Yeah, I'm a quiet man. But yeah, I write Buge, B-U-G-E, represent a 4-letter crew called BMC. And one of my biggest influences, believe it or not, is this crew that I'm in.
Oh, shit.
And it's because I come from the valley, and like they were saying, you know, Copy, Salem, and all these people that were doing this insane shit around the early 2000s. That's what influenced me and made me want to get into this crew, you know? Like, I mean, there's a lot of crews that out in the valley that were killing it, you know, and just hitting, you know, that were into bombing and all that shit. But what really interested me in them was that grimy flow, you know, that not even the colors, the fucking the letters,
Mutant.
the
Yeah.
letters, you know.
Crabs.
That's what it's all about, letters.
Straight up.
You know, like I wasn't really interested into the whole bombing shit till like probably like 2 years ago. You know, I was more into about letters. That was the thing that I was really into and always wanted to study. And this crew that I'm in is what fucking got me to where I'm at now. You know, I started understanding letters more.
That's a trip though, that you're more about the letters, because now that your work is, you know what I mean, doing what you do, dog. It's like you're ahead of, damn, dog, 90% of the cats that are,
Thank
you know
you,
what
man.
I mean, like that are partaking in what you do without putting too much on it. You know what I mean? But ain't nobody really gonna stay up there that long. You know what I mean? Like, but you about them letters, so you gonna stay there and get it. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Definitely keep
keep
up the
thinking
good
those
work.
bombing spots.
Once again, OGHuskyRadio.com. It is graph political. Like, oh, it's on the, you know,
Hell
Barack.
yeah.
Barack ain't make no changes and like all this. Is it really, or is it
That
like,
was struck a nerve with you. Tell me about it.
Rock ain't thinking about graffiti.
Yeah, I mean, is it political though? Like in the sense, because it's a trip though, like just to get different people's perspective. A lot of people, like we just interviewed Mir, And Mir was like, it's all
Very
political and it's all this. But then you interview other cats and they're like, man, I just put whatever the fuck came to my mind when I wrote it. You know what I mean? Like a little saying at the end. It's not really for you guys, is it? Or
I think it's a little bit of both, you know. I think we all know that everything is fucked up and it's corrupt, you know. So I think even by doing graffiti, it's our way to be free, you know. That's our way of they can't get us. I mean, they can't get us, but I mean, that's our way of being free, you know, from all this bullshit, from your regular 9 to 5, from your bills, kids, or whatever you got going on and shit, you know.
Yeah. With that, why do you do it? Why do you do it?
Like, well, hold on. Because you're asking, like, is graffiti like political? And then at the same time, when you're talking about being political, it's like, well, even for graffiti to even be political, that means it's feeding into propaganda. So it's like, is graffiti then propaganda? And it's like, well, at the end of the day, when you're not really staring at you're not staring at graffiti, you're really staring at writers. And it's like, we're all writers. It's like we just happen to form like Voltron and that shit's called graffiti. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we all got hand styles, we got formulas, we got all type of ways and how we structure our styles. And it's like, that shit's element of art. That's an element of art after, you know, that's even before it becomes hip hop. It's an element of art first. And it's just all that structure that we try to maintain and we try to add style to that. So then when it becomes the idea of being political, it's like, wait a minute. Like, we ain't really trying to be political. We're just trying to maintain what's already been laid down in history, what legends have already been put forth, because people died for this shit. And when they were climbing on billboards, they weren't doing it because of some political reason. You know, they were doing it because of a creative thought that sparked in their mind. It wasn't necessarily political. It only became political when somebody was walking by and saw it and was like, wait a minute, that's a good way to get this message out. So I'm gonna use that formula to get this message out. And now, when you really go into grave detail, you're like, wait a minute, what's this over here, street art? Oh, wait a minute, they just bit our whole shit from the spray can? Wait a minute, street art, what the fuck? All right, some of us are trying to find faster ways to get up. Cool, that's understandable. But wait a minute, now this shit's got propaganda in it? We weren't about all that shit first. We were already living in a government that was fucked up. Like, our neighborhoods were already fucked up.
We're trying to fuck up the game, too.
You know what I mean? So we went and decorated it. East Coast, that's how they did it. They went and decorated their shit. Out here, similar concept. Only thing is, we recognize bullshit, so we're like, yo, let's go ahead and just trump that. You know what I mean? We got a whole different formula in our mind. And it's not even to be political. It's to be from a whole creative standpoint.
www.oghuskyradio.com. That's the best explanation I've ever heard, dog. Like, on some real
Graffiti's political,
shit.
BAMC ain't.
Yeah, straight up. Like, I got you. I know what the fuck you're saying, dog. Because it goes back to just the art. The artist is just doing the art. It's however you interpret it and doing that. But shit, so much thought went in. It's like, I'm not trying to make a political statement. That propaganda shit. I'll put it to you like this. The sides of the buses, there was never no advertisements on the side of a bus or in the back of a bus. They took that shit from the graph heads because the graphs were like, everybody's going to see this shit. I'm going to hit street side.
And the whole point was to make your day feel better.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, you didn't see that? Your day felt better. You had a better day. Not, oh, damn, fuck. I just saw that on the side of a bus. Oh, I got to think about that now, how fucked up the world is.
You're right. They did take that.
You know?
Right.
They did
I don't want to think about how messed up the world is. I already know.
Propaganda. With that, rules, are there any rules? Anybody have rules that they live by that within the graph? And if so, who imposes them or who taught you those rules, man? Mainly for the cats that are doing the you know what I mean, the work. You know what I mean? The cats.
I have a really refined opinion of where graffiti should and shouldn't be, but to each his fucking own, really. You know, you guys aren't out here, you know, trying to do something nice all the time. You know, most of the dudes in this game aren't Cheerios and 100%ers. We're dealing with a bunch of 2%ers and shit. And, you know, if dudes want to do what they want to do, I'm not here to say it, but I personally like to follow a nice, clean guideline. You know, I have respect and I build cool shit. I don't just write on shit, you know? So I put a little bit of heart into it where it's not just about, you know, fucking
I just want
messing
to
up somebody's fucking property.
Something he told me off there, he's like, I'm not gonna walk out and write on your curb, but fuck it, there's some guy who that's what he's gonna do, and I'm not knocking him for it.
Yeah.
That was just the best shit I heard tonight.
Yeah.
That's why, dog. You know what I mean?
I think, but there's more like, there's like some deeper shit though. Like low key, like for example, like okay, because we gotta go back to the beginning where graffiti actually had rules that people followed.
Okay.
Like the game still always had the rules, but it's just a matter of who followed them and who broke them. You know what I mean? They're there. It's just a matter of who's gonna follow them, who's not, and who thinks they got big enough balls to go break them, and who think whoever thinks they got more juice in the hood. You know, so all that shit comes into play.
It's a pissing contest.
You feel me? Exactly. It's a pissing contest. But at the end of the day,
It's so fun and it looks so cool.
There are some basic rules because remember, if you did a toy ass, if somebody did some toy ass shit, the next person had the right to go over it with some better shit.
Straight up.
And I think that rule still applies to this day. If somebody does something that's toy, that and here's how I feel about it. If it's toy, yeah, you're getting capped. But here's the thing: if it's toy, and it don't matter where it's at. It could be on your house, but if it's toy, you better believe somebody who's good enough to go over that shit's gonna come go over that shit. You know what I mean? And that's the way it should go. If that shit's toy, that shit needs to get gone over. It doesn't matter. It could be on a 50-foot long mural. If there's a bomb on that shit that's toy, there should be no disrespect. And it's something that's not been handled in a long time. You can't get upset when somebody comes along that has skills, more skills than that person who did that toy ass bomb. You can't get mad at that. You gotta let that ride. You gotta let that go. Because at the end of the day, he put paint on the wall before you did. He applied paint on the wall before you did. Point blank simple.
Some people just love tags. Some people just walk around and love seeing tags. They hate pieces.
That's a rule that's like has a thin line. You know what I mean?
Or how about for legals and illegals? Like, it's the same thing then, right? I mean, if you're going over illegal illegally, then you better flex them. If you're flexing, then ain't no thing. Then,
that's
right?
the problem. People shouldn't even be going over. Nobody should be bombing over legal murals. Like, that's the first problem. Because
yeah, if you think about people going in and asking the people that own the store, hey, can I do a mural on your wall? That's the same shit we're all doing in the back alleys. You wouldn't take it for some crew that was known that your crew's afraid of or some shit. Yeah. So why would you walk up and just take off on somebody's mural? Yeah. But then again, little kid, 12 years old, that lives on that block, he's gonna do what the fuck he wants, you know? Like, straight up. And I'm not, you know. So sometimes it's kind of cool. You see some of those tags and you're like, God damn, that's a dope name. And so it changes your day. So, you know, sometimes, you know, the world's a crazy place.
Yeah, it's kind of, that's where it goes back to that whole thing. And like what he just said, Mighty just said, those kids that live on the block, they want to paint. And that's everybody starts. Everybody was terrible at one time in their life. And if it's about, you know, giving them a spot to paint, and sometimes at the most they just want you to hit them up, you know what I mean? And as soon as you leave, they still live around the corner, you don't, and they could do whatever. They could either fuck your whole mural up, or they could respect it, you know what I mean? And that's the whole, I think that's
the young ones that break the rules half the time.
I think it's a big thing, as in respect and respecting, you know, a lot of the younger kids, man, that are doing it, and the way they look at you, you know, if you come off like, oh, I'm too good to talk to you while I'm painting. Yeah. They're gonna look at you like that. It was done to me when I was a kid, and it just kind of made me just want to, well, fuck them murals. Fuck those pieces. I just want to tag on everything. Eventually, you love the art, man, and then you give it back. You know what I'm saying? And it's respect. Though you teach them right, man. But there is a lot of kids that don't care about these
palatial interference.
Yeah, they love, like you said, it's you know, they want to promote themselves and their little friends, man, and that's what they'll do. They'll fuck your whole shit up.
You guys have fun. If you're watching OG Husky right now and you're out there with your boys, just have fun. Try to have some respect, because you got to grow up and be in the world with everybody else, and you got to start to respect women, and all this crazy shit happens to you as you get older. Just fucking, you know, try to have some respect, have fun at the same time.
Thank you guys for coming through. Go ahead and
use us as role models.
Introduce yourselves and let them know who we got in the spot individually one last time, man.
I'm Ace Born, BAMC. You I mean, if you want to use me as a role model, go for it. I'm not crazy like these other guys.
I do, Ace.
The Mighty Eyesore, BAMC, ORC crew, AM7. Shout outs to Stigma, Benjamin Lucas, Com1 out here doing the tattoo thing. Big ups to fucking Darns and Select on the gear. You know,
Soul BAMC. Give up to my homie Copy for getting me in this whole shit, you know. And Sot doing this thing. My boy Bukes killing.
Crabs again. Big crabs.
Crabs. Yeah, man. Can't forget 'em.
Slaughter.
Angle.
Yeah, Slaughter's killing it, man.
Everybody.
Fuck, man. Slaughter, you're out there doing your thing. Buge, B-U-G-E.
And this is for all my BMC heads, man. Thank you for fucking putting in the work.
Gotham. What's up, everybody?
Everybody, man.
All right, before I
BMC
cut out,
Zone.
let them know, man. All
K35.
everything it stands for. Everything it stands for again, man.
Here, Matt Chronic.
Burning all my competition.
Blew all my chances.
Free faction, many consequences.
Oh, that's my favorite one.
OG Husky Radio. Thank you guys for coming through, man.
Thanks.